At any rate, tabs are evil.
What makes a good maths t-shirt? Now, I don't know if you know the history behind this question, but this comes from a lecture from Donald Knuth, who gave a lecture in 2018 at a university, and he was asked by a student in the audience, what makes a good teacher? And he misheard the question as what makes a good t-shirt? and then proceeded to tell a joke about a t-shirt that says, I am the square root of tan squared c plus 1. So it says, I am sexy, was his response. So this has now become a bit of a, let's say, an internet meme to ask fellow computer scientists and mathematicians what your favorite, or what makes a good t-shirt. And I did notice yesterday you had one on talking about proof. Is that correct?
Oh, so you actually asked me about, I heard teacher, and you actually said t-shirt?
Yeah, t-shirt, yeah. That's brilliant. So you heard it the other way, right. No, I think let's do t-shirt. Let's do t-shirt.
I don't know. I think that's one of the things that's a silly question. I mean, I just happened to find that t-shirt, which unfortunately the video camera person screwed up and did not show the whole t-shirt.
What did the t-shirt say? So for our viewers who didn't see that.
It's a cartoon by Sidney Harris,
okay.
who used to draw cartoons maybe for Science magazine, but at any rate, he did scientific cartoons. Yeah. And it shows two professor-like types in front of a blackboard with all sorts of mathematical stuff on it, yeah. And they're fighting each other, and one says, you want to see proof? I'll show you proof.
Nice. Okay.
So there's a talk that I give to mathematicians called How to Write a Proof.
Do you wear that t-shirt?
Yes, and actually a line I guess I've used in giving the talk is saying that, well, some people just think they can write proofs by intimidation, and show that cartoon.
Nice, proof by intimidation, I like it. If you had to pick, what would you describe as the piece of work you've done that you think has had the biggest impact on modern cloud or distributed computing? If I'm aware it's not often easy to pick one particular thing.
Well, certainly I think the practical impact these days is certainly cloud computing or stuff is the Paxos algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what is the most important in terms of dollars, and I don't think I can really say what is most significant. And generally, I'm not a very good judge of which of my work will, what papers I write will be considered good.
Now, this is definitely quite a silly question, but I think I get where they were going with this concept. So someone has asked, what is your favorite clock?
Favorite clock?
Yes. And I think I'm assuming this is in reference to, is it the Lamport timestamp and vector clocks and different things? So someone has requested, do you have a favorite clock?
No, but I do have a pocket watch, which
oh, fantastic!
I like. Well, it's not very well. This brand, I won't mention the name. This is the second one I've had of them, right. And it has problems. But it's actually, I guess, I've always liked having accurate watches, or I've used a pocket watch for 40 years or something like that, 50 years, I don't know. And I like them to be accurate. And this one is good to, I think, within about 3 seconds a month. And I'm told that's the best you can do with quartz crystal. Actually, there was the physicist who gives the lecture at the HLF.
Yes.
It was a couple of years ago. He's a
wonderful,
wonderful lecturer.
Bill something.
He got the Nobel Prize for basically building clocks more accurate than anybody else. And he was the one who said that 3 seconds a month is about the best you can do with quartz crystal.
Does that mean you have to adjust 3 seconds every month yourself, or like how, or do you just know it's slowly becoming less accurate?
Well, what I do is basically I do not change my clock unless I change time zones or you go from summer to winter time or something, and so it's accurate enough that you know I'm never more than 20 seconds off or something, which is for all practical purposes good enough for a clock for a watch.
Agreed. In terms of doing work or publishing work outside of perhaps what people would call your main field, how was your experience with that, and do you have any advice for other researchers in terms of how to maybe switch fields, or if you become known for one thing, how do you then do something else?
I've switched fields. I have a publication on hair color in France.
Fantastic.
Well, it's for the magazine Air, which used to be Annals of Irreproducible Results. And what happened is that my wife and I were traveling through France, and we noticed that there were a lot more blonde women than blonde men.
Okay.
And so my wife was a biostatistician, so we took statistics on this, and in France, and we would also, a part of the thing was we wanted to make sure that we were just dealing with French people, so that we had to be sure that have some way of knowing that they were actually French, like sort of police woman or somebody, make sure they were at least speaking French. And I think in one case at a restaurant, we saw one of the rare blonde men. And we went over and asked him whether he was actually French, so we made sure I get our statistics. And then, because nobody ever realized that hair color was, in France was sex-linked. And so we published a paper about that.
That's brilliant. I just love this image of you were you on vacation at the time and just couldn't help but be curious scientifically about...
We just saw that. It just seemed like such a perfect Air article. And I mean, my one goal in life, now that I've won the Turing Award, the one thing that I could hope for after this is an Ig Nobel Prize.
Yes.
But I'm afraid I'm just not going to. I had some hopes that I thought that the Byzantine generals might do it, but they actually published a little blurb about the Byzantine generals in Air, but they actually credited it to somebody. It was about a paper written by somebody else about the Byzantine generals, and they interviewed him or something about that.
Well, there's still time, I
can hope.
Final question. I know you said you see yourself as a theoretician rather than a practitioner, but I think most people in the let's say programming industry always have this argument, at least that I've witnessed, between spaces or tabs. So do you have a preference, or what would you say?
First of all, before I answer the question, I should mention that I used to have a great deal going, but since I had been programmed and so I knew a reasonable amount about it, and so that theoreticians thought, hey, this Lamport guy knows a fair amount of theory for a system builder, and the system builders said, hey, this Lamport guy knows a lot about systems for a theoretician. So I really had a good thing going, but I just couldn't keep up the pretense of being a system builder for very long. At any rate, tabs are evil. They should. I always remove them if they ever sneak into a document. They were fine back when memory cost $1 a bit. But why are we saving, bits and creating trouble?